In this video, we're going to help you solve the main problem that you have right now. And that is that you know what to do, don't you? But you just don't do it. We all have this problem from time to time. But in this video, I'm going to give you a 5-step process for solving the root cause of this problem. Why this actually comes up for you. We're going to resolve it in this video. But before we actually dive into it, into the 5 steps, let's talk a little bit about the problem itself, because we need to understand it first for us to be able to apply the steps. Let's say that your mind is like a Google Chrome window, and you're operating on one tab right now, and you're trying to do some stuff, but what you're noticing is the tab is very slow. The tab's very clunky, it's very difficult. You can't really load videos up, images are loading slowly, links aren't really clicking very quickly, it's all very, very heavy. You don't quite know why this is until you look closely at the tabs and you notice you have about 25 tabs open, and turns out all of them are playing videos and playing flash games and stuff and all sorts of crazy stuff, and it's slowing the whole window down. But what you're trying to do is focus on the one tab, trying to improve the tab, trying to focus all your energy on this tab. Meanwhile, you've got 25 tabs in the background messing everything up. What is the practice that we're going to go through today? It is based in what we call shadow work, which is a practice of inner exploration that was pioneered by Swiss psychologist Carl Jung. And essentially it's a process where what we're going to do this together today, is we're going to take all the tabs and we're going to clear them. We're either going to clear them, we're going to either stop running the videos on them, or we're going to click across on them altogether, so that hopefully you have 2 or 3 tabs open that are very necessary internally, which allows you to do the things that you want to do without too much effort. So if that makes sense to you, let's dive in. Step 1. Find a problem that you have right now. It might be the case that you procrastinate on studying or starting a project. It might be the case that you have a kind of social anxiety or something that you can't really get past. It might be the case that you struggle to stop eating shitty food, or you struggle to quit smoking weed, or whatever the case is. Whatever problem you have, just really bring it to mind. To use an example from my own life, something I overcame is social anxiety. If I was doing this exercise all over again, I would pick social anxiety as my problem. When I'm around people, I stumble on my words, I go very quiet, I feel very anxious around people. And you can think of these 5 steps as dropping deeper and deeper into the unconscious, okay? So step 2, we're gonna ask why. You can ask the question why and you keep dropping deeper and deeper and deeper. So we're gonna ask the question, why is that? When I'm anxious, for example, around people, why is this? And if you get a little stuck, you can ask a couple other questions. You can ask, what am I avoiding around this problem? What do I feel uncomfortable talking about around this problem? Or what would I not want people to know about me around this problem? For my social anxiety example, it might be that I am afraid that I can't trust other people, that other people are a threat to me. And now moving on to step 3, we're going to drop a level deeper again, and we're going to ask, when was the earliest time that I felt this? For example, my social anxiety, I start with the social anxiety, I feel like people are a threat to me, and now I ask, when was the earliest time that I experienced this? And just as a side note, while you're doing this, the deeper we go, the less logical I'd like you to be. The deeper we go, I'd like you to take some deep breaths and be slightly meditative with it. Okay, so you just actually breathe in, and when you ask yourself the question, when was the earliest time I felt this? Let the answer come up from your subconscious, okay? Because most likely it's not gonna come at you in language. It's gonna come at you in music, lyrics. It's gonna come at you in quotes from movies or little scenes from movies, or it's going to come at you by surfacing memories that you've not thought about in a long time. So let's say that you've worked on this for a little bit, you've sat with it, and a memory has been surfaced, okay? Let's use my example, because I actually did this process on my social anxiety and it really helped. So let's say I've got social anxiety, other people are a threat. I asked myself, when was the earliest time I felt this? I got the memory, which was an actual memory in primary school, where I had a group of friends, and one of the kids did something, like they vandalized the school basically, and then all of them turned on me and then said that it was my fault. They basically stitched me up and betrayed me. So that was the earliest example I had of other people being a threat to me. So when you have this kind of memory or this image come up, you move on to step 4, which is to invite your former self to a conversation. So let's say in my example, I have the former version of myself who's 7-year-old Oliver, who's feeling betrayed, and he's still kind of stuck there. So what I'm going to ask him to do is to take a seat across from me. This sounds quite woo-woo, but honestly, it really, really works. And you have to access it like a slightly different headspace to get the benefit from it. So I would have him across from me, he would be sat there, and I would allow my imagination to sort of fill in the blanks. Like, he's sat there, he's wearing a grey school sweater, he's wearing grey pants, and he looks really sort of upset and confused and scared. And once you have your former self in front of you, you can move on to step 5, which is to uncover the story. Ask your former self, what's going on? What's happening? Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's up. And what you might get is your former self will tell you in its own way, in his or her own way, what the problem is. And in my example, my former self told me, people suck. You can't trust people. They all betrayed me. Why would they do this? And he feels very scared, confused, and hurt. And now that you have the story, we're going to move into step 6, which is to talk back and forth with your former self and start to challenge and reassure and encourage. I want you to take the perspective of a big brother or sister, where you'll basically encourage and be there for your former self in a way that former self, that former version of you really needed at the time. So in my example, let's say he feels betrayed, other people suck. I might say to him, oh man, that really hurts. I'm really sorry that happened to you. Like that really hurts. But I might also say, but not just to let you know though, man, I know these kids screwed you over, but it doesn't mean everyone will screw you over. There's still people out there who you can trust. There's still people out there who will be there for you. And you see how what we actually do there is we start to reassure the former version of ourselves. And what this is actually doing is going to the root cause of what my problem was, which is social anxiety. It's going to the root cause of it, which is a belief that other people suck, other people can't be trusted. And that came from a former version of me. And what I'm basically doing is rewiring a deeply held limiting belief that's in my unconscious mind. And I'm doing it through kind of dialoguing with that part of me. Be curious and be encouraging, but also be discerning. Like, make sure that you really question this from some sort of different angles. And you might also notice that that former version of yourself is just still in pain. That former version of yourself is still hurting, is still wounded. And you might also find that just by you showing up and being there and being present for that former version of yourself, the healing actually starts on its own, and you don't need to do much more than that. I hope that helps, guys. Check out this video next, where I talk about how I overcame porn addiction, as well as a bunch of other lifestyle problems and habits and negative habits through this kind of process. So check out this video next. And if you're interested in working with me personally, click the link in the pinned comment below to find out more about that. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.